the things I've been involved in. I sent out a couple hundred invitations. I had all over 100. It was oh, it's been an enjoyable life.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is January 16th of 2024, approximately 10:45. We're here to start our Kane County Development Committee. Will you please roll call?
Berman. Doherty,
Here.
Iqbal,
Present.
Kenyon.
Here.
Linder,
Here remote.
Davis,
Here.
Caius. Williams,
Williams present remotely.
Ford,
Present.
Tepe.
Debbie here.
You have an in-person quorum.
We have the request of Linder and Darty as to be remote. Any objections? Seeing none, welcome aboard. Moving on to our approval of minutes from December 19th of 2023. Can I get a motion and a second?
Iqbal moves.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote. Okay, all in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries. Monthly financial reports. No response, so I guess they're attached. Any questions or comments about our financial reports? All right. I believe we have somebody in the audience that's for the actual petition, so we can move on to our public zoning division.
Good morning, Mark Van
Morning.
Kerkhoff, Director of Development Community Services Department. For a building and zoning report, from a building standpoint, obviously it's very cold. So certain construction activities have slowed down. We are keeping very busy. We are down one building inspector as of December 1st. We are working to fill that position. We have received a good slate of applications, are going to be beginning interviews in the next week for that. And for our zoning report, we do have one zoning petition this morning, but also just want to note, we continue to be very busy with the community solar petitions. As you're well aware, there are several petitions that were remanded back to the Zoning Board of Appeals from the county board. So those have gone or are going back to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and then they go right back to the county board. So those, since they have already been to Development Committee once, are not coming back to the Development Committee, but will go back to the full board. And again, I want to thank our team at the Kane County State's Attorney's Office for continuing to work with staff and the zoning board to refine the process for the findings of fact. You'll find another example of that new process in your petition this morning, which is not a community solar project. So any questions on that before I move on to our only petition this morning?
Any questions or comments? Right.
Okay, thank you. Petition 4623 is JS2 Trust, Amazing Vehicle Sales. This is in Michelle Gums district, 08, and they're requesting rezoning from B1 Business District and B3 District Business to a B3 District Business for the entire property with a special use for an open air lot for car sales. And I'll go through the slides, but the petitioner is here this morning as well if you have any questions. This is located in an area for urban neighborhood mixed use infill in our 2040 plan. You can see everything in gray is in the village of Montgomery or city of Aurora. Everything in the goldenrod, I'll call it, is the urban neighborhood mixed use infill. You can see here on our zoning map, everything that's hashed in with the red striping is in the village of Montgomery. And this isn't a kind of a two-block area that is zone B3. One has a special use. This particular subject parcel is zone B1, but there's a small strip of it that is in the B3 district. And then immediately to the east are some F-zoned single-family residential properties. Here's a close-up that shows more distinctly the area zone B1 and the strip that's zone B3. Here it is on an aerial, and you can see the surrounding land uses are quite a mix of residential and business along Montgomery Road and the residential area to the east. Here's a close-up of the area, everything along this west side of the street and to the west. You can see is all business uses, both the unincorporated area and in the village of Montgomery, and then the residential neighborhood to the east. Here's a close-up of the subject property. There's an existing building, existing parking spaces out front, access along the south side to a back area that's currently not improved. Another close-up. Again, this is an older aerial photo, so it doesn't show what the applicant is proposing for the use or parking for the site. Here's the plat of survey. Here's the petitioner site plan. They are going to be doing a car sale, so they have a orderly way to have cars for sale parked in the back, leaving access on the south side for the two overhead doors into the building. The office will be in the east end of the building, and then they're parking for customers. They are proposing to continue to use the existing parking spaces in front of the building and identify an accessible spot as well. Staff recommended comments. They've approved the rezoning special use will allow cars for sale to be parked and displayed on the property. A zoning board of appeals recommended approval. I will note that with the special use that the zoning board also recommended approval for continued use of the existing parking spaces in front of the building. So those will go from a non-conforming status to being conforming under the special use site plan being proposed. You also have in your packet the findings of fact sheet, which was prepared by the zoning board. This time we had a laptop available, so they transcribed it directly into a Word document. Staff printed it off before the end of the meeting, and all of the zoning board members who were in attendance signed the form. We had one remote attendant signer and working on the final one, but the vote was unanimous recommendation for approval. And as I mentioned, the petitioners are here this morning if there are any questions.
We need a motion a second, I believe. So can we get a motion a second?
Kais will second.
Kais a second. All right,
Wait a
any
second.
questions? Go ahead, Darty.
I was gonna ask Ms. Dumbs, any objection?
Thank you, Gumsier, Mr. Doherty, and the committee. I have and am very familiar with this location. I circled it a few times. I think it's a wonderful spot for it. There's no concern for traffic in and out on Montgomery Road, and I think it's great. Good luck.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, roll call vote.
Berman. Doherty.
Oh, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Yes.
Fair.
Ledger, yes.
Caius.
Kais, yes.
Word.
Yes.
Passes.
All right, I guess we can move on now to our Property Code Enforcement Division monthly report.
Yes, good morning, Mark Van Kerkhoff again. John Mall is off today, so I'll be covering the report. You can see in your packets, they continue to show the numbers illustrated in a number of different ways, including some pie charts and graphs. You can see December compared to last year, a lot more activity, both for new cases, active cases, and I still think most significantly, measuring the success of this new unit is the cases closed, actually bringing resolution to them, and that they really are working well as a team, led by John Mall and the inspector Colin Miller and Brittany Garcia. Has been a very useful tool, especially with the bilingual aspect, being able to talk to folks, help them understand what the violation is, and work with them on a pathway to compliance. They seem to be much more, trustworthy, being able to have it discussed in their native language and understand what needs to be done. This map shows the location of them. You can see there's quite, predominantly the most of the new cases in December were in Aurora Township. John has kept me appraised that City of Aurora is aware of them now, and as well as the township, and we may be receiving some more opportunities through that as well. But also, it's somewhat naturally that's a much more urbanized area, and we have the largest area of urbanized land area and uses in Aurora Township that are unincorporated, as opposed to some of our other larger cities where most of the urbanized areas within the city limits. Various types of violations continue to be, junk, debris, garbage on the high end, commercial inoperable vehicles, running a business from the property tend to be our leading ones. Some of our charts in terms of the timeframes, just to see, track, what timeframes we're getting resolution in. The ones on the longer end tend to be the ones that we have to take to administrative adjudication or to court. And then just by their nature, zoning violations tend to take longer to bring to complete resolution. And this chart shows since the unit was really activated in April, compared to last year, you see all the comparisons of new cases, active cases, closed cases, adjudication for each month. And I think the numbers really speak for themselves in terms of what the investment in this unit is doing to pay off in terms of bringing quicker and more satisfactory resolution to the cases that come in. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments on this subject? Seeing none, we're gonna move on.
Okay, last item is the special planning and special projects report. And those are listed for you. We do report most of our activity at other departments. A couple of things I do want to highlight to this committee. One is the two positions that we asked for in the 2024 budget to be filled. One is a planner GIS position to replace a longtime GIS planner who had retired in 2022. And we're very grateful that that position was reinstated. We are currently doing interviews with some promising candidates for that. The other position was for Farmland Preservation Administrator, Janice Hill, who really started that program and worked for the county for many, many years on a full-time basis, had transitioned to part-time a number of years ago. And so we had to wait for this position to be approved to be able to backfill a lot of the time-consuming and important work and understanding of working with the federal programs for the easements. And we're very excited that we extended an offer, and we had a very bright young lady accept, and she'll be starting on January 29th. So we're excited about getting both those positions filled. Because it's going to be a very busy 2024, especially with our economic development and agriculture programs. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, just ask to replace the report on file.
Any questions, comments? We're gonna keep moving forward. Good morning.
Good morning. In your packet today was a report for 2023 for the land cash, the revenues that were received and forwarded on to the schools and the parks. I would ask that this report be placed on file unless you have any questions.
Any questions or comments? Seeing
Thank
none,
you.
thank you. All right, we're down to environmental resources.
Nothing to report.
All right. Water resources,
Also nothing to report.
okay. Now we're down to Office of Community Reinvestment. I see Scott is online. Scott, you there?
It's online.
Anything on the new business?
You're smoking, sir.
All right, can I get a motion to second to put our,
So moved.
so moved? I think we do this unanimously, right?
Yes.
All right, all in favor by saying aye? Sign, motion carried. I believe we do have an executive session. We don't? All right, good.
Wow.
Comments?
None.
All right, I need some help with the last one.
Motion to adjourn, and Mr. Davis should note that you made up the difference.
Yeah.
We all.
Right on the dot.
See, Davis, this is the way to run a meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. All in favor by saying,
Aye.
yeah.
Aye.
Who seconded adjournment? Okay, thank you.
We're in a hurry.
You really don't need the second
No, see that?
And